I'd like to talk to you this morning about praying for and with other people. Practically everybody prays. This has been proven by certain research that has been done, and so that it's easy for us to talk about prayer, because practically everybody prays in some form, even if it's only silently crying out to God for help. So today I want to help you to think a little bit about praying for other people in their presence personally. It's one thing to pray for others, which we all do. We intercede for people who are sick or discouraged or in grief, but usually they're at a distance, and that's a wonderful thing to do. It's a wonderful activity, and it's a wonderful help to people to know that they're being prayed for, and to have the strength that comes through active prayer. But I'd like to encourage today the next step, to help you to believe that praying with someone in their presence is something you can do. I like to say, somewhat facetiously, that if you can order a hamburger at the fast food drive-through, you can pray. Because praying is asking God for something that God can give you. When you meet someone who is going through a tough time, perhaps someone who's lost a spouse or lost a job or just has some illness in their life, the first thing that a caring person needs to do is to ask them how they're doing, to bring up the subject, to not avoid the topic, but to bring it up. Many widowed people will say to you, will tell us that people avoid their subject. They're thinking about their husband or their wife who has just passed away, and people won't talk to them about it. So the caring person who meets someone who's going through a tough time, first of all, is going to bring the subject up. The person will share with them how they are. They will talk about usually that it's not easy. And at that point is an opportunity for you to say, I'd like to pray for you. Would you mind if I pray for you? Or in some way you offer them a personal prayer. And they may say, sure. But they may think that you're going to do it at home. And then you may have to say, no, I mean right now. I'd like to pray for you right now. And usually people will accept it because it's such a wonderful gift. So when you pray for someone, first you ask their permission. Usually then you may want to take their hand. Reach out your own hand and take their hand, or both of their hands. And then you begin your prayer. Now let me step back a little bit before we go into that, because I'd like to tell you what I think is going on when you pray. For one thing, you're praying to God. And we tend to think of God up there, but God is really everywhere around us and in us and above us. But we're speaking to God and asking God for God's healing, helping, encouraging spirit to enter this person. Now when you do that, I believe God is also coming through you directly. God may come from wherever, whatever surrounds the person, but God also comes through you to the person. And so you are an instrument of healing to that person as you pray. And when you say to God, "Oh Lord, be with Joe. He is going through a very tough time. He's hurt, he's lonely, he's grieving, and he needs your assurance and your strength. He needs the confidence that your confidence that he will be all right." When you say that, you must believe that God is sending that into Joe, and that you are sending it into Joe, and that prayer is really activating healing in Joe from God, and from God coming through you. There's a lot of evidence being gathered in the broader world about the power of prayer. There's one research project that was completed in a cardiac care unit in which the patients were divided into two groups, Group A and B. Group B received all the conventional care and prayer that every patient always received from their own pastors and their families, and the conventional medical care. Group A was prayed for by prayer groups throughout the whole country. Each of these prayer groups had the names of these individual patients and a little bit about their conditions. And they focused on those people in their prayers. Now, amazingly, but wonderfully, when they studied the effects of prayer on the people of Group A, they found that their physical conditions were measurably helped by the prayers that were sent their way. They used less pain medication, fewer died, and they were admitted at an earlier time than Group B. So that was a research project that was very, very powerful in letting us know that prayer really has healing power. In my own experience, I had a time where one of my interns called me in the morning and said, "Our baby was born and he's going to die. He has a very serious problem, and no babies do not recover from this." Well, in that day, I was one of dozens that just really prayed for this baby. His name was Chad. In the evening, the phone rang again, and my intern called and he said, "Chad is remarkably well. He is going to live." Now, that was one of the more stunning events in my life of prayer, because I really somehow just believed that it was prayer. He received all the usual medical care, but I just really believed that it was prayer that saved his life. And maybe you've had experiences like that too, and those just, they don't always happen, but they remind us that God is there, and God is coming through our prayers, lifting up, encouraging, healing, sometimes in very surprising ways, but always God is there, healing and helping and encouraging and lifting people up again. So I hope that you'll find a way to reach out to people personally and say, "I'd like to pray for you right now," and reach out your hand or lay it on their shoulder and pray for them personally. They will be lifted up, and so will you. Thank you.